got the fam, I got the keys, I get the work. I am the man, you know what I'm saying, so leave it to me, cause I get it first, yeah. Woo, I've been going all day, man. Same plan, can't change that. Till I'm right around, whole squad sitting back, chilling in the Maybach. Yeah, only as deep as your roots go. I don't do corny like fructose. If you got the drummer, that's word to my mama. I'll cover you up like a tombstone. I was last in my past, now you see I'm the one. They say work, never work. If you work and it's fun, we on the winning team. On top where you find us, we can do anything. Non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team. On top where you find us, we can do anything. Non-stop till our time's up. We can do, ayy, we coming up from the dirt, ayy. They trying to get us to fall, ayy. I don't even gotta flex now, boy. It's only win by the fault, ayy. Taking off with the ring, ain't nothing left, man. We the kings, ran with the team, ran with the dream, ran with the one fan in the seats, ayy. I pay my dues, check the receipt. Looking at you already peaked. Way back then. You can't follow with my tracks, man. I was last in my past, now you see I'm the one. They say work, never work. If you work and it's fun, we on the winning team. On top where you find us, we can do anything. Non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team. On top where you find us, we can do anything. Non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team. On top where you find us, we can do anything. Non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team. On top where you find us, we can do anything. Non-stop till our time's up.
coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe. For all his work here on this outside line, neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call. Night 2 is underway live, once again from the virtual Volusia Speedway Park, where we welcome you to coverage of the 4th race of the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series and the second night of the Michigan Diecast Florida Nationals right here on the KBueno Racing Network. Happy to have you join us as we move on to the double point tonight after the first race just 2 days ago. And right here in the commentary box, my name is Kenneth Bueno, joined alongside by Francisco Bacchial, who will join us shortly, and fellow dirt driver Keelan Belsha. First of all, Keelan, welcome to the booth. And night 1 of the Florida Nationals gave us a sight to behold. And now with double points on the line, it is going to be crucial to keep your title run alive with some well-needed points here at Volusia.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be a fun race. Marshall Ryder carrying all the momentum into the night after doing everything but get QuickTime on Tuesday night, and then, like you said, double points. It's gonna be a fun night. If you look in practice, the top 3 are all within what's that, a 100th of each other. They are all tight with each other. And once this track starts to slicken up a little bit, we'll get more cars moving all around the track. It's gonna be a fun race. I love dirt racing. I'm glad to be up here with you guys.
And of course, I'll turn to you once again on that, Keelan. You are a dirt driver in real life. You race over to the go-kart dirt side. And of course, our congratulations go out to you after you won the Drivers' Championship at your local dirt track. But going on this virtual side here, I know you also had that eye of dirt racing better than usually we do, since we usually cover the asphalt side of the sim. But how do you approach this race in terms of what we're going to see here tonight and what we're going to expect to see come to the heat and going into the features?
Well, go-karts are a little bit different than a sprint car. A sprint car is going to have a lot more power, so it'll be a lot more to manage. It's a lot more in the hands of a driver than a go-kart is. So these sprint cars, you're going to have a setup that you're going to have to work with tonight, and it's all about your driving ability. Once the track starts to black in a little bit, you're going to be moving all around the racetrack, trying to find speed and grip in whatever lane you can. It's really all in your driver's hands. If you can't make those crucial decisions every single corner, as a driver, you're not going to be able to succeed tonight, and that's going to be what these drivers have to do tonight.
Certainly going to be a challenge, and as you're looking over the Volusia Speedway Park, we'll give you just a better reference at where we are in the virtual world as we look at our KBRN Track Map with images provided by Google Earth. Going to go all the way down into northern Florida, or at least central Florida for the most part, where you'll find the Volusia Speedway Park at about 0.5 miles. Track opened all the way back in 1968. And of course, we are back on the clay surface after being over at Eldora, which of course had the same sort of surface that we're going to expect to see. And already Volusia in night number 1 was already such a spectacle that we already saw. Of course, Keelan, you weren't there in terms of that broadcast, but Francisco and I were really on our feet just watching each and every driver rip the top, each and every driver make those moves, and it was just a lot of fun to see over on this side, especially now that we're on the double points night. And of course, double points night always going to mean a lot, Keelan, and when you come to a track like this, you've already had that first race. You already know what to expect. Is there going to be any more risk? Is there going to be somewhat of more risky moves going to be made by some of these drivers now that it is now just double points? It's not just the regular standard points that we saw on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, because you're going to have these drivers, a lot of them coming off that Tuesday race. They had some practice on that Tuesday, so they're going to be coming hitting the track. This isn't their first rodeo. They just came off here just recently, so they'll know how to drive. They'll know how this track's going to change throughout the night because they got that reference the other night. And double points, that's just going to add more tension, more just more tension. It's all going to be about who can finish best, So. They're all going to be racing hard. I feel like it'll be a lot more aggressive moves tonight because, yeah, like I said, they all know what to expect. They experienced it Tuesday night. They're ready for it again.
Well, we are certainly ready to get things started here for the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series, but we're going to take you over down trackside as they have the performance and their pre-race ceremonies as we kick off, and they go and perform the national anthem. Ready to kick things off here, night number 2 for the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series in the Michigan Diecast Florida Nationals from the virtual Volusia Speedway Park. And now with about 25 seconds as qualifying continues to wane down, Francisco, we now bring you into the booth, obviously talking with Keelan a little bit pre-race, but now that we've got you back in, obviously you were here for that first night. You know what we saw on that first night on Tuesday. Now we're coming to Thursday with more points on the line and some new drivers who could find their way into the feature event. What are you looking forward here, especially as you move forward?
Thanks for having me up here in the booth alongside yourself, Kenneth, and Keelan, of course. Congratulations on that championship. And yeah, we're excited for this second night of racing. On Tuesday, we had a fantastic race at this very same racetrack. Marshall Ryder was very dominant in that race, and he was able to come away with the prize money and a win. And we're looking to see who can replicate that same sort of performance, or better yet, who can have a better performance than what they did a week ago. There's a couple of names that missed out on the race itself, and we're going to see who can sort of make improvements and be able to capitalize on the opportunity with double points tonight to make up for that loss on Tuesday night, excuse me.
Well, that journey to double points starts right now with heat number 1 going to start underway. This will be your look at the 6-car field for this first heat. 8 laps to complete this one, and we'll continue on our way to decide the field for the feature. Lane Stevens will find his way on the pole after getting the quick time in the qualifying session, so he'll start heat number 1 in that position. Alex Bergener, who finished in 3rd on the podium on Tuesday night, he will start from 2nd. Marshall Ryder, previous race winner, will come from 3rd. Richard Mendonça will be over in 4th place. Cameron McCone returning back, and a new paint scheme will be in the top 5, and Jesse Atkinson in 6th place. This is, guys, a stacked field here, Keelan. A lot of these drivers have various skills over on the dirt side, especially with Lane Stevens at the head of the field, our previous race winner, and a couple drivers that are willing to look for that first feature win and get themselves back in.
Yeah, you talk about Lane Stevens, he has a lot of that in real life dirt experience, so he knows what to do around here. He's always one of those guys racing up in the top split dirt official races, so he'll be leading them to the green after missing out on the feature, I'm pretty sure, Tuesday night. So it'd be nice to start off with a heat win, hurry up and secure his spot in the race tonight.
Well, we're just about to get set. It'll be Stevens and Bergner up to the front of this field. They will be the first to see the green flag in heat number 1 of the handful that we have to decide the feature. Pace truck is up and away, and we are green flag racing for 8 laps in heat number 1. Already a good start by leader Lane Stevens as Bergner falls back to second. There is a gaggle, though, for third on back as the 14 of Mendonça tries fighting with Marshall Ryder up to the bottom.
Mendonça is going to get around Ryder as they go down 1 and 2 here on lap number 2. He's going to hold on to the transfer spot for now, but the winner of Tuesday night's running, Marshall Ryder, he's going to be making a move here on the inside. Can't quite get it off the quarter.
The battle for third is going to be the battle for the transfer spot. The top 3 will move on to the feature. Everybody else will have to race their wins in the LCQ. You see there's a swarm of 3 drivers battling for that spot at the moment, as there's going to be contact between 4th and 5th right there. But Jesse Atkins is going to get into the spot as they're wrecking behind.
Marshall Ryder, defending race winner, he's up into the outside wall with that 4 laps to go. That certainly could put him over into the last chance qualifier, but he has a little bit of time just yet. But these laps really time down very, very quickly. Jesse Atkinson, who started in the back of the field in this first heat, he's already up to the transfer spot in 3rd, and that fight between him and Cameron McCone has yet to be determined just yet. A little bit further back, just a couple of tenths behind. Meanwhile, there is a battle almost for the race lead as Bergner slowly creeping up to the back of that number 33L, coming to 2 laps to go.
Stevens has held him off pretty well so far. He's just got to hold him off for 2 more, as it looked like he gapped him a little bit that time around. Down to 1 and 2, running his line perfectly as he slides off of turn 2. Coming to the white flag here in heat 1.
Does he go for the win or does he settle for second? Right there, he's trying to gain as much ground as he can. He's going to look to the inside in 1 and 2 on the final lap of this heat. Alex Bergner trying to make a move. Can he go for this heat win? Lane Stevens, who started on pole, he goes to the inside. Can he get the crossover done? He's going to look, but it won't be enough as Lane Stevens gets the heat win.
So Stevens will find his way into the feature. It's the first time we say that, which is awfully surprising considering how good he's been on the dirt side. Bergner will be into the 2nd spot, and Jesse Atkinson will hold on for the podium. He will advance over into the feature event here from the Volusia Speedway Park. This is our 2nd heat of the evening, just 5 cars, but still could pack a punch as Aiden Kirker will find his way into 1st. He was also one of the drivers over in the feature event on Tuesday night, and one of the new drivers that we have yet to see in this season, making his first start, Proximity Racing's Alex K. Gretz in the number 17. He'll find his way into 2nd this heat. League owner J.J. Hill will be over in the 3rd spot in that number 3 car, fittingly, as Caleb Nickel will be over into the 4th spot. Zach Arnold in the AOD Racing Machine, he will be over in the top 5, and he will find his way. That's only 5 cars in this 2nd heat. We only saw 6. Actually, now we see 6 as Vincent Isabella has just joined, but it seems as though he's just a little bit too late to the party, so he might have to find his way and crawl through the LCQ to try and get his chance at a shot at double points here from the Florida Nationals. Guys, or at least Francisco, I'll turn to you first. We've got 1 new driver, but everybody else has been returning faces, and especially one of them who's been very strong in Aiden Kirker. Are you looking to see Kirker dominate this one? Or are you looking to see maybe that newcomer in Gretz try to find his way, as he's pretty relative on the short tracks?
There's a couple competitive guys in this heat, but yeah, you mentioned it. Aiden Kirker, he's had a bit of unfortunate luck so far this season, and he's got a couple of heat wins. We're going to see if he can try and get another one, and part of you wants to see him do well just because of the bad luck he's had, and it starts right here with the heat, seeing how the car reacts with the racetrack, what he's able to do, get in a rhythm, and if he can take the lead on this first lap, which we saw on Tuesday night, the outside was rather predominant on the start of the race, so we'll have to see if Aiden Kirker can take the lead, keep it, and run away with it to win this heat as the pace truck pulls off, and we're getting ready to go green, and there he goes, side by side for the lead.
Green flag in heat number 2, 8 laps to complete this one, and already contact between the 2 leaders as Gretz almost had a nose hitting to the back of the number 17 of Kirker, or at least 2 17s, but as Gretz is relocated as the number 09, but already a change of hands for second place as Nickel finds his way by, and Gretz has to fight for fourth.
Zach Arnold right in front of him, trying to stay up in front of him. He's going to work the crossover here on Gretz as he threw the slide job into 3 and 4. Down to the bottom, going to try to make it stick, and he will off of turn number 2. Arnold's going to take over the transfer spot for now.
Zach Arnold and Alex Gretz right now are battling for that transfer spot of 3rd position, with JJ Hill sitting in that 5th position. These 3 are going to be battling for that final spot with just 5 laps to go, which is not that much here. They're going to be battling to see who makes it now and who has to wait until the LCQ to determine whether they make the feature or not, as the top 2 are relatively separated, but you could look out for that gap between the top 2 as it could potentially shrink, but we never know as the battle for 3rd is heating up, Kenneth.
At about 0.6 of a second is that change between Kirker and second place Nickel, but we are focusing right on this battle for 3rd in the transfer spot as AOD Racing's number 48 Zach Arnold is still trying to hold off the number 09 of Alex K. Gretz. He's trying to look to the inside. He's going to get a little slick under, but they're going to be enough to be door to door all the way to the inside of turn number 1. They're going to try to crossover move. That 3rd place now belongs to Gretz, but is still challenged by the 48 on the bottom.
Gretz trying to get the run up top. Arnold's going to clear him on the bottom there. They're still going to be side by side down into 1. Arnold has them cleared. Gretz trying to look in the bottom, trying to use his short track experience in real life to pay off here. Last chance for him. Aiden Kirker is going to win the heat, and Gretz is going to steal it off the final corner.
Wow.
He's going to advance to the feature here is, Aiden Kirker might have had an issue.
I'm
What
not
happened
sure
to
what
him?
happened to Aiden Kirker. He's displayed as 6 on the board. But we'll try to look. He was leading this heat, but possible contact, I believe, maybe with Vincent Isabella. This is in the final laps. This is a replay looking. Actually, no, we don't have enough time to look at the replay, but very interesting. We were focusing so hard on that battle for 3rd. It seems as though we may have missed out on what happened all the way up front, and may look like Kirker has to claw his way to the LCQ instead of advancing to the feature event here tonight.
I believe Kirker had mechanical issues there.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's coming off of 4, ready to win that heat, and that sucks. But here we go, on to heat 3, Kenneth.
Well, heat number 3, once again 8 laps. We do have 6 cars this time. You saw Vincent Isabella join a little bit late as his 6th car, but it was obviously telling that he was going to end up in the LCQ anyway, considering how late he had joined that race. So he will find his way there. Now we're going to find out the other drivers that make it into that LCQ and the drivers who advance over into the feature. And a new driver here starting in this first row, Trey Shuttlesworth in the number 119 AlphaTauri paint scheme. A little bit of a colorful paint scheme there with Cody Meadows, who's already won 2 races in this season. Josh Patterson, Sammy Yahya, who's making his first start as well. Brayson Collins and Henry Clapper. Those are the final drivers in this heat. So already some new faces mixed with some ones that we're already familiar with, especially when you look at Cody Meadows. Keelan already up to row number 1, where he has already won the first 2 races at Eldora. He was very close at the Volusia Speedway Park on Tuesday night, and now he's got just a couple of drivers to get by, but he's got a good vantage point up at the top of row number 1.
Yeah, we were talking before we went live tonight about how he is the guy that has all the momentum, and he's looking to start off tonight, night 2, Volusia Speedway. Double points tonight, points leader for sure after dominating Eldora last week. But he's going to have to fight Trey Shuttlesworth for this first heat win. Shuttlesworth and Meadows are going to lead him to the green. Pace Truck's going to pull off, and we are green. Shuttlesworth does not get going, and Cody Meadows is going to escape to the lead early.
Spoke about that vantage point, and it has already worked over for the number 88 machine. So the AOD Racing white number 88 will find his way to the heat lead on lap number 1. Shuttlesworth will set up for 2nd as the battle for 3rd is on. Patterson looking to the inside, a slide job into turn 1 and 2.
Whoa.
Not enough as contact with Sammy Yahya will put them over together, and the 02 may have a little bit momentum to gain. There's a lot of drivers in this mix, and they're all not gone whatsoever.
4-car battle for that final spot. Josh Patterson trying to take that spot away from Sammy Yahya in an insane battle between these guys. But remember, Josh Patterson won the Hard Charger Award at the first Volusia race as he's going for a move right there on the inside. He's going to try and take it away from him. He won the Hard Charger Award in that first race, so he knows a thing or two of starting from the back and driving his way to the front. So he's not afraid of doing that if it comes down to that. But he's trying to lock himself in now as he is settled right now in the 3rd position ahead of Sami Yaya.
4 laps to go in this heat. For 8 laps here, just a couple of laps left as Meadows continues to dominate by about 7/10 of a second over Shuttlesworth. Those two seem to be locked in, but they are trading hands for that 3rd place spot. But right now, Patterson seems to be holding on very well as Sammy's not able to catch up just yet. The battle for 5th is non-existent as well. They seem to be single file throughout. And about 2 laps to go at the line as Meadows continues to lead.
Cody Meadows, you mentioned it earlier, coming off those 2 Eldora victories to start off the season, came oh so close to dethroning Marshall Ryder in Volusia Speedway on Tuesday night, and tonight it looks like he's going to start off Thursday night with a bang. Took the lead at the green flag and does not look back. He's going to win heat number 3, punch his ticket to the feature. Trey Shuttlesworth and Josh Patterson, 2nd and 3rd.
So those 3 will find themselves into the feature event here tonight. Sami Yahya, Brayson Collins, and Henry Clapper are going to look for luck in the last chance qualifier. We're up in a heat number 4. This time we have 5 cars to row out this grid. And boy, we have some interesting drivers to go over in this heat specifically. When you look at the driver starting in first, he's not loaded in just yet, but it'll be that number 42 of Cole Williams. There he is right there on the grid. So he'll find his way through as the pace car, or the pace truck at least, will start to make his way through. And Francisco, we talked about it over at heat number 1, or at least night number 1, into the heats, and where he found his way to the LCQ. He got into a wreck, and he did not make this feature. What does he need now in this heat specifically to find his way into the feature with double points on the line and try to contend for a win and get himself back into the championship conversation?
His first step is to be able to win this heat to make sure he can get into that feature race. He's starting from pole position for the heat, so all he has to do is maintain it and drive away from the guys behind him, and he's able to essentially lock himself into that feature race. And then in that feature race, should he get there, he just needs to try and run his race and avoid other people for the early stages to miss out on any luck that may be going in his way in a negative aspect. But once he gets settled in, I think Cole Williams could be fine. It's just getting through these first couple laps, these heats, the potential LCQ if something doesn't go right for him, because we've seen a lot of bad luck for that 42 so far this season.
So he's going to try and find his way, get a revenge story after the first night and his elimination was not able to make it into the feature event. This will be your 5-car grid. It will be Cole Williams at the front, which we've already discussed. Willie Cuddy over into the 2nd position in the number 23 machine. Brady Weileman in the number 51, BT Dubs Prince and Bodega Paints number 51. That black car there will round out 3rd. Paul Granada will be over in the Target machine in 4th. Matthew McDonald in an all-black machine will be in the top 5. That'll be your 5-car grid for this next heat. Already up to the green flag. Cole Williams tried to lead them through, but immediate contact. There's a huge crash already into turn number 1 as Weileman is having a huge ride. His car is already toast as the rest of the drivers look to find their way through. Williams still leading.
I could not tell you what happened on that start there. It looked like Cuddy tried to get the jump on Williams, and then he held himself up. Williams got going, punched the gas, got up into Cuddy. They were almost 4 wide going into turn 1. Insane turn of events here on lap number 1, but Cole has he's comfortably leading now.
That was a messy start from all of them, really, and they were trampling on top of each other into turn 1. They almost all managed to wreck. It was impressive how only one car came away, unfortunately, out of that, which was Brady Weileman, who will have to race his way through the LCQ immediately following this heat. But right now, Cole Williams has a almost 2-second lead on Will Cuddy, and this is exactly what I was mentioning at the start of this heat, that Cole Williams needs to have a solid run and win this heat if he wants to have a chance at turning his luck around, maybe getting a good result out of the race, and just turning his season around, because it's been unlucky, and he had a close call on that first lap, but after avoiding that first lap, right now he's in a good position. So all he has to do is bring it home 2.5 more times, and he's going to be a heat winner.
And there's no competitiveness over for P3 as Paul Granada, especially with that wreck, he's all by himself. The only driver behind him is Matthew McDonald, and maybe in these 2 laps, they had a hiccup from Paul Granada a little bit over out of turn number 2. So maybe we do have a battle there. I thought it was non-existent, but apparently there is now, as McDonald will find his way over to the inside. He's going to almost make contact as they're both still going. We're on the white flag of the heat. It seems to be the winner will be over at Cole Williams, who's looking right at this battle, right in front of him. But as we're coming to the line, one more time around for these guys, as Williams wins this heat, McDonald to the outside. He's going to take over P3.
Saw Granada just slip up there coming off the corner, and that's what's going to cost him this this heat. McDonald is going to punch his ticket into the feature. Granada, I believe that damage he sustained on lap 1 is what is going to cost him a shot there. He'll have to make his way through the consolation top 4, make it out of there. It'll be Cameron McCone leading us to the green there.
So this is the last chance qualifier. You said it right there, Keelan. 4 drivers will advance over to the feature. We have about 11 drivers, so scrambling for 4 spots is more of a challenge than usual, especially Francisco, when we saw, I think, a little bit less drivers over in the first night, where we saw not as many drivers. We didn't see as many new drivers, and now that we have this scrambling for 4 spots, especially with the laps that we have, about 12, you need to make your actions and you need to make your money here quickly.
Yeah, this is going to come down to, can you pass as many cars as you have to get to that 4th spot? Winning is great, but all that matters is being in that top 4. And obviously the top 4 for this start are in the best position to stay there, but we know that racing has its course and that won't stay that way. You see Sammy Yaya in that 3rd spot, JJ Hill, league owner, outside front row of Cameron McCone, and Paul Granada in that 4th spot. Brayson Collins was an LCQ winner from a couple weeks ago in Eldora. Maybe he can charge his way up through there. We have a couple of guys here to look out for, and we'll just have to see what happens after 12 laps.
So this is your grid. Cameron McCone will start from first in this LCQ. JJ Hill, league owner, will be second in row number 1. Sammy Yahya will be over into the 3rd spot with Paul Granada to his outside. He just missed that heat that we just saw just a couple of seconds ago. Richard Mendonça will be over in the 5th spot with Vincent Isabella rounding out this top 6. Brayson Collins will be over in the number 5 car in P7. Brady Wallerman with that flip and crash in that most recent heat. He will be 8th. Defending winner Marshall Ryder has a lot of work cut out of him. He's in 9th. Aiden Kirker as well will be over in 10th. Henry Clapper will round out this 11-car field for the last chance qualifier. We have 12 laps to decide who will be the final 4 to make it over for the 16-car feature, and it starts right now. Green flag is up and away. JJ Hill and McCone with a fairly equal start. I think everyone else has a really equal start as well. Hill up to the outside. He takes the lead, looking for that battle for 4th. Here is the number 1S right to the outside as we got a huge crash behind.
Was that Granada who was upside down? I think that was his luck just ran out ever since that that last lap of the heat there. Sami Yaha making a pass for 3rd. No battle really for the transfer spot yet, as some of these guys, Aiden Kirker especially, he's trying to slice his way through the field, diving under that for position there, gonna get crossed over.
Yeah, Aiden Kirker, who was half a lap away from winning the heat, unfortunately had some sort of issue, and we see him here in the LCQ, but he is grinding his way through the field, and he's actually going to be a little direct. Huge contact, but he's able to save it as 2 others went around. It looked like it was Sammy Yaya and others involved, as there's more contact for the lead. JJ Hill and Cameron McCone are side by side.
They're side by side. Now Hill takes advantage, but the battle for 4th continues to persist. There is Vincent Isabella in the number 21 machine, making his way up to the inside of the number 17 right now. The last driver holding that spot as Kirker's around. Now Collins takes over the 4th spot. What is happening here in this last chance qualifier? We're just seeing upmo chaos here at lap number 6. We're not even halfway.
Isabella Kirker made contact, and that's going to cost Kirker a spot in the feature here, as now it's Brayson Collins trying to hold off Clappert for the 4th position here. He is currently sitting pretty in a transfer spot. He's got to hold off for about 5 more laps.
Yeah, it looks like right now the battle in the closest battle on the racetrack is this battle for the heat or the LCQ lead. We also see a battle for the 3rd spot, but for the transfer spot specifically, there is no battle at the moment. With 4 laps to go, though, it could just heat up with the 5th place driver of Henry Clappert catching up to Brayson Collins. So Brayson Collins once again is on the fine edge of making it or not. He missed it by a spot 2 nights ago. Does he get in by 1 spot tonight, Kenneth?
He just needs 3 laps in order to just hold on that spot. Remember, Clappert's just a couple of tenths behind. He's a fairly equal distance there, just trying to make that move to the inside. But all Collins has to do is just hold that spot for 2 laps. But even that is a lot to ask for. Here comes JJ Hill, now challenged by McCone. This is about the 3rd time they've been challenged, as now Isabella might look to spoil the party for 3rd. We're at the white flag one more time in the last chance qualifier.
JJ Hill's going to get the run down the backstretch here for the lead. There's a battle for the transfer spot there. Not much going on. McComb's going to try to make one more dash on the bottom, but it's not going to be enough for JJ Hill. He's going to win the LCQ, and Brayson Collins is going to get the final transfer spot, getting over Clampert at the checkered flag. He's going to make it into the feature. Clampert, the first one out.
Hard hitters in this one that missed out. Clappert misses out, barely in 5th. Mendonça 6th, Sammy Yahya, then Aiden Kirker, Paul Granada, Brady Weileman, and defending race winner Marshall Ryder will have to sit out tonight. He's going to have to wait until next week to try and get some sort of win or compete in the feature event. But speaking of the feature event, we are here. This is the 16-car grid that you'll find right here for 40 laps here from the Volusia Speedway Park. And starting on the front row will be Lane Stevens in number 33. He'll start that red and black car over in the first spot with Caleb Nickel to the outside of row number 1. Back to row number 2, Cody Meadows, who's already won 2 races this season, looking for that trifecta and that 3rd win here tonight with 2 weeks in a row, capturing at least 1 win. Cole Williams will be over in the 4th spot with Alex Bergener, who finished 3rd in the first night. We'll look for that same sort of performance. He'll start tonight from the 5th spot. Newcomer Alex Tate-Gretz will start from 6th, with also a new driver, Trey Shuttlesworth, starting over in the 7th spot. Willie Cuddy will be 8th. Jesse Atkinson will be in 9th. Zach Arnold 10th. Josh Patterson 11th. Matthew McDonald 12th. League owner J.J. Hill in 13th. Cameron McCone 14th. Vincent Isabella in 15th. And Brayson Collins will round out your 16-car grid. Just loading everybody in, getting everyone set. The engines are fired, and the pace truck is up and away. And as you will see in just a short couple of moments, we will take our celebration and our tribute to you, our viewers, as they start to line up 4x4 all the way down to the 16th place. This is for you, the viewer, and all of us here from the virtual Volusia Speedway Park. This is the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series. They'll line up 4x4 in celebration, and now they'll find their way back to 2x2. Lane Stevens, Caleb Nickel will be the first 2 to see the green flag after 40 laps, and we'll find out who takes double points here tonight from the Volusia Speedway Park. Guys, we're ready for a very big event. Lots of different drivers, some returning faces, some who have made it in after missing multiple times. Keelan, I'll turn over to you first. What are we expecting here once we drop the green flag?
Well, we've seen some these cars hit the track. They're gonna get that track blacked in throughout this feature. It's gonna be a longer race. Gonna see guys start to move around as the race progresses, and Lane Stevens making his first feature event. He's gonna be leading them to the green after winning Heat 1 in dominating fashion. He's gonna lead us to the green. We're underway in Florida Nationals Night 2.
Florida Nationals Night 2, presented by Michigan Diecast, is up and away. There's been a lot of transfer for that 2nd spot. Cody Meadows has found his way in that AOD racing machine. Nickel, though, falling back to about 3rd or 4th. He is battling, though, with Cole Williams to the outside. And now they're still side by side as we got a caution lap number 2. And it was Atkinson at the rear of the field along with Trey Shuttlesworth, I believe, that got involved in that incident. We'll take a look, as those two might have gotten into contact within each other. As we look at this, is a little bit further up this field, and you'll look over at where Atkinson stands.
It was just a big chain reaction from lap 1. It looked like Williams slid up in front of somebody there, and then it was just a big chain reaction. Shuttlesworth ended up hitting into Atkinson, trying to avoid all of this, and Atkinson got the worst end of the field. He'll be shuffled back to the rear of the field.
Yeah, it looked like Cole Williams probably might before. I don't know if it appears that way to either of you, but it looked like as though the left front tire of Cole Williams hit that inside wall just enough to send him back up the racetrack, and there was a lot of checking up and just not enough reaction time for Jesse Atkinson, I guess, to avoid that one.
So Atkinson involved in the first incident. I think he does have some sustainable damage. It doesn't look too bad from the outside appearance of the race car, but hopefully that car is staying strong and hopefully he can continue on. Trace Shuttlesworth, however, has suffered some sort of issue. He's now up to about a lap down, or at least now 2 laps down actually on the racetrack, so he will be 16th. He will be the last driver to finish this race, unfortunately. And usually some things about the sim, you find your way, and obviously way different from what we see over on the real life side, where you can have a flat tire, you can have some sort of engine issue, something can happen along that front. But here on the sim, you don't necessarily have that problem in the car, but you could still have some sort of problem outside of your own control. You could have some sort of hardware equipment failure, you can have some sort of issue along that lines, or could be something along the lines of the internet connection that could also be a little bit faulty sometimes and can unfortunately take some drivers out of contention. Meanwhile, we're back under the green flag, and an early jump for the number 33 of Stevens has thrust him up to the front of this field, as Meadows up to second, Nickel to third, and they're still battling for battles behind as Gretz looks for fifth.
Gretz in fifth. He's going to be trying to fend off the 96 car of Bergener there. Bergener trying to make the run on the bottom. He's going to slide up here in 3 and 4. Try to make the clear. They're almost making contact. Did a good job staying off each other there as they battle for this tight top 5 position.
Cody Meadows must be having a dream or something, as we have a yellow on the racetrack. He's used to battling Caleb Morrissey, but right now it's Lane Stevens who's in front of him, as I believe Jesse Atkinson may have gone around once again to bring out the second caution of the night already.
We'll see what exactly happened. It could have just been him once again. Doesn't seem anybody else changes any positions, and indeed it was the 127. So already a bad night forming for the number 127. You see him on the outside, and Brayson Collins here battling for position. That was about for 14th place, and then right into the outside wall, then contact between the wheels and a large flip by the 127. Luckily, no one else around to hit him. And another incident just within the next couple laps. It's already been rough for the driver of that 127.
Yeah, it's becoming a nightmare for him tonight in Volusia, just barely making a race, and then having this incident in the feature, lap 1 incident, and now having this one, contact with Brayson Collins, really going to put a damper in things tonight. But Lane Stevens out in front. I don't know if fuel will be an issue tonight with the setup, the way these cars are, caution laps not counting. I don't know if fuel's going to be an issue for these guys if they're saving under these yellows, but if they're all right, I think Lane Stevens is he's feeling good right now, up in the lead, not having much trouble.
So far, no trouble for the leader. It's been all trouble for the driver all the way back in 15th at Jesse Atkinson in the 127. While we're under the caution on lap number 5 of the 40 laps scheduled here for tonight, going to give a shout out to one of the sponsors of our series, Bottom Shelf Diecast. Bottom Shelf Diecast makes some of the best diecasts that you'll see in terms of the custom side. They make custom diecasts per request. You can visit them over at Bottom Shelf Diecast over on Instagram to find out more information, or to get your own diecast customized and made over just for you. I know obviously Cup Series and Xfinity Series are usually the NASCAR, maybe even an Outlaw diecast if you so prefer. Meanwhile, we're going to be back under the green flag, lap number 6. Remember, caution laps do not count on the racetrack. Stevens with a voluptuous start, but it's all Meadows looking over to the bottom. They may have some contact behind, but so far, no harm, no foul as we move into turn 4.
Stevens in control. Williams trying to fight back around the outside of Nickel here off of 4, down into 1 and 2, trying to make that pass for the 3rd position. Behind them, it's Gratz and Bergener trying to jock for position there, as Williams is going to take 3rd. Nickel's going to hold up Bergener, and Gratz is going to try to slot himself into the 4th position.
Gretz moving to that outside of Nicholas. Cole found his way by, so he's cleared himself. His eyes are set on those top two, those red and white machines, the number 88 AOD Racing and Lane Stevens over on the outside, who's still holding strong in that top position as we got another yellow on the track, and this time involving Matthew McDonald, the number 15. He goes around in that all-black machine. It seems you can't even see the number and just how dark that race car is, but nonetheless, it seems as though he's been in an incident, heard some contact a little bit further back in the field, and that must be the reason why we heard that incident there. The caution waves, lap number 9. Here's a chopper view as he was looking forward to Vincent Isabella. There was some contact, but, well, that was bizarre. A little sequence that kind of turned him around there as he slammed to the back of the number 1S machine, and then weird instance sends him to the inside wall.
I think he stayed off of him for the most part. It looked like he slid up in front of him, and then he was trying to drive his wheel back and forth, trying to stay off of him, and then spun himself around. But weird instance there, but didn't get much contact with the wall. Might just be a little bit of wing damage that he can mess with throughout the night. He should be all right.
And a different race already from what we saw on Tuesday night. This is already the third caution. That's already more than what we saw in Tuesday night's race. So a different turn of events from what we saw just a couple of nights ago that could play into how these drivers race one another, or how this race plays out in terms of who are the contenders, because a lot of cautions may not help somebody who's in the back, as if they have to constantly go and stop, they can't get to passing race cars. So it's going to be tough for people to make up for any lost track position if there's consistent yellows. So we'll have to see, does that change, or if this is going to be a pattern of the evening.
And that brings a double-edged sword as well there. You mentioned a good point there, Francisco, at not able to pass any cars because you're not under the green flag. You're not able to make any spots, or else you'll get a black flag for. But it should be good news over for Stevens, because if he continues to see yellows, he'll stay in the lead. Field will be frozen the whole way throughout. But for everyone else, it's not good news. They're going to stay behind him the whole time, and they're having to wait a little bit longer in order to try and make some of that moves. Could kind of throw them off their game. That could be some of the mind games we see over here tonight. We're going to have a restart lap number 10. Another good one by the 33 down to the inside. We've yet to see him be contending against anyone else so far, as Metals continues to hold on to second. They're fighting for third as Gretz has slowly crept his way through the field. We haven't talked about him too much, but he's already up to third. Now he has to say to something for the 88 in second.
How about Alex K. Gretz making his first career start in this series? Came up, I'm pretty sure, what did he get, second, or he either won or got second in his heat race. And now he's up here jockeying for a top 3 position, trying to fight his way around Meadows, but here comes Alex Bergener trying to get around him. Williams trying to fend off them for the top 5 position.
Yeah, Williams had a good launch, but since then he's actually been getting mauled by a couple of cars, just past left and right now battling, I believe that's Zach Arnold for that position right there, and he's actually going to keep it as Arnold got loose off the corner. But there's a big battle for second. There's a train behind Cody Meadows for that second spot, as we see Alex K. Gretz right by there. And we also see right behind it, there's almost contact with Bergner for that third spot, but they're going to stay nip and toe, nose to tail, these 3 guys for the second spot, as Lane Stevens continues to pull away for the lead.
It's about 1.2 seconds this time around at the start-finish line, as second through fourth had a little bit of a train going. It's kind of separated themselves for now, as Meadows has looked his way, has cleared the rest of those 2 guys, so he's a little bit less nervous, as now Bergen on the number 96 will try to look over into the inside of Proximity Racing number 09 machine, or at least shown as a 17, but at least with Aiden Kirker missing the show, there won't be a duplicate 17 around on the racetrack, as Cole Williams, and you mentioned it, Francisco, was kind of falling back on that last restart. He was up in the third as contact.
Oh, no.
Alex K. Gretz got over to the outside wall, had a contact with Bergener, Nickel involved, Hill involved. No. Caution out, lap number 17.
Wow. You hate to see that. That's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that sucks for Alex. He was putting on a great night tonight, had a great run going. Got up there racing top 3, and looked like he got slide chopped into the wall there.
We'll look at it once more. We'll try from an aerial shot. There's that move by the 96. Seems as though he went to the inside, found that opening there in a turn 3 and 4, but that slide job can be dangerous if going the wrong way, and if especially the distance closing so much on the outside. If 17 goes up in the outside wall, you see Caleb Nickel, huge hit. JJ Hill, an even larger one. Down, everybody else able to get by as Hill found his way around. You see him around as he was trying to get away to the outside. You see him right into the number 17, just trying to avoid him. then a flip over to the side, more contact with Brayson Collins, kind of sending break dancing over back on his wheels. And some damage to be fixed. Keelan?
Well, a lot of guys got lucky to not hit Gretz there. I mean, he's just stopping in the track, but fortunately, some guys, they didn't get so lucky. Lane Stevens, the leader. I think Lane wants this thing to go green. If he's out here, if he's leading by a second and a half under green, he just wants to stay out there and lead. But these yellows are just bunching the field up for him. I don't know if he likes it or if he doesn't. Gives him a second to rest, but at the same time, if he wants to win this race, I think he wants this to go green because nobody has had an answer for him yet.
I'm with you on that, Keelan. I think he wants this to go green because as yellows keep coming out, it bunches the field up and gives everybody an opportunity, because all you need is an opportunity to get past him by a mistake or something to happen to that 33, and everybody's right there to pounce after getting bunched together. At least on a green flag run, you have a comfortable size of a lead, and if you make a mistake, you have that gap for that reason. So I think Lane Stevens wants this to go green. It's still only lap 17 out of 40. We're almost halfway. We have half this race remaining, so there's still a lot left to be unturned as the green flag's in the air. There's contact already for that second spot.
Berger to find his way to the inside. Meadows has a challenge now that should grow the lead significantly between the two and second and third and the race leader. They are still side by side though for fourth on back, as Cole Williams had that shot from the fellow AOD racing driver of Zach Arnold. There has been some contact a little bit further behind, and now that continues as we have another yellow flag. Willie Cuddy, this time the victim throughout, as he's up into the outside wall on the fence. And a yellow on lap number 19 setting us off once more. We'll take a look and we'll see exactly what went down. It was a battle for about 6 on back. This was right behind Zach Arnold and Cole Williams, and it started with this contact to the inside wall. You saw Atkinson try to defend his way around, a little contact with Josh Patterson, and then right back up into the number 23 as McDonald gives him an extra shove. And right up to the outside fence. There's the pace truck already knowing. He saw it right in front of his face. And we're under the yellow once more as we'll take another look at this. And
I guess Patterson got sent off the corner or something because he was just all over the track on the front stretch. And Cuddy tagged him when he hit the inside wall. He was significantly slower. Tagged Patterson, and Patterson just slides back up into him. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that was nothing Josh Patterson can do there. He was sideways trying to control his own car, so it was just wrong pace at the wrong time for both those guys. It's quite dramatic the way that crash happened, especially with that huge hit at the end, which resulted in him flipping. So another caution for the 33 of Lane Stevens to keep the lead, and another opportunity for these guys to get back bunched up and try and not triple over each other as they try to catch that 33.
you gotta reckon it must be frustrating for these drivers, Keelan, because I know in asphalt racing, when you're trying to get a green flag run in, you're trying to prove your worth on the long run. Let's say your setup is more catered to that, or maybe you're just a better driver in the longer run. You don't want to see a lot of yellows on the track, because then you're already getting bunched up. You're forced to be in a short run, and all of a sudden you're not in your comfort zone. Could be the same factor that we see here tonight as we continue to find ourselves with yellows, and even worse so that we don't even have laps completed under the yellow flag.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lane. Nobody hates these yellows more than Lane Stevens as the green flag comes back out. And they are... Oh my goodness.
That was Cody Meadows, the second place driver who got involved with Bergener. They both had contact immediately, and there's the 88 on his side. Winner of both the Eldora kickoff races. He will have to find himself into the garage. That could signal the end of his night at the halfway mark, lap number 20. And this started immediate, guys. It was right after the green flag had dropped. You watch him right here on the inside of row number 2 and just merge right there with the number 96 and a huge flip. That was a dramatic crash as the 96 lands back on his wheels. Meadows, though, not so fortunate. And we have another yellow as we've only completed one lap under the green flag, and that was under that restart. But now the two guys, Francisco, who were up in his second and third, the guys who looked like they had something to say for that number 33, and now they either have to work their way back up or they have that chance, and now it's evaporated.
You know, that was 2 restarts in a row that Cody Meadows got sideways on the bottom. I made a point of that, I believe, on the restart beforehand. And it right there, it just it just culminated into an accident. He got a get out of jail free card basically that first time, and that time unfortunately it wasn't going to happen again. Contact, a huge flip, and unfortunate for him, this is his first DNF, I believe, because he did have to tow, and he's just going to lose a lot of time. So definitely not the run he was hoping for. But with those points he's collected from the last couple races, he's hopefully, for his sake, he's able to have either the points lead with Caleb Morrissey not being here as well. So hopefully there's a silver lining for him, as the admins, I believe, have changed this to single file restarts after that, which we'll have to see what that does for the restarts. Cole Williams, the guy we haven't talked about that much tonight, is into that second spot. We mentioned in the heats that he needed a good run to finally break that streak of bad luck. Could he do it right now? He's behind somebody he knows really good in Lane Stevens, and behind him, Josh Patterson, who won the Hard Charger Award the last race, and here he is into the third spot. So a couple familiar faces also from the asphalt side are here in the dirt side as Lane Stevens is getting ready to go green, and there they go.
Quick start by Lane Stevens at the halfway mark, lap number 20 of 40. Now 21 completed. Now actually going to complete lap number 21 once you get over to turns 3 and 4. Mentioned that opportunity for Cole Williams, so he does have that shot. And remember, these two are very, very close to each other. They know each other well. I feel like that number 42 could find some sort of a weakness to that number 33 and try to pounce on and get that lead away. But so far, it's not been told just yet as Patterson holds on to third. It's all single file throughout as the number 33 continues to dominate.
Slowly but surely, Kenneth, this track is starting to slicken up more and more. You can see just barely in this corner, especially in 1 and 2, you can start to see that shiny black just barely down there. In 1 and 2, you can see when the light shines on it, it starts to shine. That's going to get slick and slick. Drivers are going to move around the racetrack more, search for more grip as that happens. And if there's enough time, maybe that's what Cole knows. Maybe Cole knows that's Lane's weakness, and if that's Lane's weakness, Cole's going to have an opportunity to pounce on that later in this race if there's enough time.
You know what we're not seeing tonight on this racetrack that we were seeing at Eldora is sort of like a little dark patch in between the bottom and the high line. Maybe it comes in as this race continues because of all the caution laps, but normally what we'd see is Lane Stevens had a big moment there in 3 and 4. Normally what you would see is the bottom would have the light dirt, and so would the top, and then there would be this dark area in the middle between both lines that was just super slick, and we saw it catch out a couple drivers. You can see it a little bit there in turn 3, so not that much being developed here tonight. That could be useful in terms of who can run what line. We see Cole Williams has been a little bit more consistent these last couple laps. So, Keelan, you're making a point. Cole Williams could catch up to that 33 of Lane Stevens. When and how? And if he can make a move, can it go for the win with just almost 10 laps to go left in this feature race?
And also one thing, Francisco, is that remember when we saw on the first night of the Volusia Florida Nationals presented by Michigan Diecast, we saw everybody ripping this line where everyone is right now, especially these top two, Lane Stevens and Cole Williams, and we saw the leaders working this high line the entire time through a long green flag run as we're about to get 10 laps to go in this race in the feature event. Everyone was running that high line. Question goes for Cole Williams if he's able to catch up to the number 33 in time. Does he pull that move all the way to the bottom? Does he have enough grip? Does it get a little more slick down there now that the track is changing even more? And does that middle lane become somewhat efficient? As actually Cole's not in the picture anymore. Seems as though he's in some incident. And no yellow on the track. He's out of the track already.
That's huge for Lane, because that was really his only competitor was Cole Williams, and I don't know what happened to him. It's like, he hopped the wall there.
Looks like he tried to move to the bottom. There it is right there where he gets sent around. I'm surprised no yellow, and actually that's why. It's because he just disconnected right at the cusp of being up in the outside wall, possibly causing that yellow. So no challenge now as Josh Patterson moves up to second place. There may have been more contact a little bit further behind, but for now, Stevens continues to lead with about 6 laps to go.
It's all Lane Stevens right now. He's just got to keep these last few laps consistent and hold them off. You talk about how he has struggled to make a feature race all season so far, this being the 4th race of the year, double points. If he wanted any shot to get back in his championship battle, it would have to come tonight. He would have to put a show on tonight, and he has done exactly that. QuickTime and qualifying comes through in the heat with a victory, and now has put himself in position to possibly win this feature if he can hang on, Kenneth.
He's about to be about 3 laps away from that victory, and you said it right, Keelan. And we talked about it pre-race, and we were wondering it this entire season throughout. With a driver so good as Lane Stevens is, one of the drivers trying to qualify for the Pro Series, at least on the dirt side, for the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series on iRacing. You know, he's been trying to get him, and he is a notable face when he comes to the dirt side. And now, especially with the amount of races he's missed, it's been surprising that he's never been able to make a feature. But now he's shown up double points, and this is that opportunity in order to give himself a shot to get back into the conversation for the champion in the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series. We reach around to the white flag one more time around from the Volusia Speedway Park. It's all clear skies for the number 33 of Lane Stevens. Patterson, though, working for second, but it does not matter. Stevens, off of turn 4, wins the feature event in night number 2 of the Michigan Diecast Florida Nationals. Nickel will actually pass for second. Patterson will be third. Vincent Isabella fourth. Brayson Collins, your top 5.
That's awesome. And man, it's even with the struggles he's had this season so far, to come out here tonight and absolutely put a whooping on these guys, man. He was fast all night long. Comes off with a victory. Fortunately for him, Cole had an issue, and that really took his only competitor in these last few laps out of the picture. And now to get his first win of the year, big win for him. Put himself in that championship contention now. I feel like his in real life dirt experience somehow paid off tonight, because he just got he's one of the best drivers I've ever seen rip the top, rip dirt in general. He's just so good, man, and to see him finally come through tonight, that's awesome.
Yeah, the other side of the coin on that one is Cole Williams, who was starting to close the gap with just under 10 laps to go. And unfortunately, I assume after getting that wall, he must have alt-F forward in the middle of that spin as to not produce a caution. And just another tough break from that bad luck that we kept talking about. He was having a good run and just made a mistake, and it unfortunately cost him a decent finish from what appeared to be what could have been a P2 finish, maybe a battle for the win. So unfortunate turn of events for Cole Williams in the closing laps there.
Well, Caitlin, I told you right before we went live that I was wishing that the winner would go over to the little pedestal, that little stand right there on the front straightaway that says Volusia Speedway Park. That's right, that little victory lane circle. Well, I guess Lane Stevens had a victory lane celebration on the wall, because he found his way to the inside wall, got stuck there, was trying to find his way out, wiggle his way out, but that was not the case. We finished 40 laps here from the virtual Volusia Speedway Park. We'll take one short break, and when we come back, we'll have our coverage and our KBRN post-race coverage at that, presented by SDC. We'll have interviews with the top 3, and of course, our Dirtman Photography Hard Charger Award interview will also come through and follow, along with our recapping thoughts after the second night. Double points for the Michigan Diecast Florida Nationals. Stay tuned. We've got more coming next.
It's the thirstiest time of the year. Hey. Yeah. I have just one query.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
The answer is clear. It's the thirstiest time of the year. Sprite, let's go.
Back live from the virtual Volusia Speedway Park, where we kick off our KBRN post-race coverage, brought to you by SDC. It was 40 laps to decide a winner in the second night. Double points on the line for the Michigan Diecast Florida Nationals in the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series. And up at the front, if you want to look at the driver who was most dominant out of them all, and it was fairly obvious, it was at number 33 of Lane Stevens, going to be sitting in the victory circle here tonight from Volusia. Going to bring him in. And Lane, you had a run over. I think this is finally long overdue. You missed the first 3 races. You missed the Eldora kickoff both of those nights. You missed the feature event in the first night of the Volusia Florida Nationals. You come here now, you finally make the feature, and in your first appearance, you win for the first time in this series for you. Walk us through your thoughts, your feelings, and especially what was going through your mind now that you finally had this break after missing those races before.
Yeah, it felt really good to get the quick time and then the heat race win, and then I knew that the feature was going to be long, so I just had to be patient, and I just tried to stay as smooth as I could and stayed up front, and then luckily the 2 behind me ended up wrecking on a restart there pretty quick, so feels pretty good.
Obviously, it should feel good. I mean, you pretty much led every single lap almost. I mean, 34 out of the 40, that seems to be just a dominating expression to the rest of this field. Now that you finally had this moment, you're up here and you finally win a race. What kind of statement does this bring from you to the rest of this field now that you finally made it in and now you're looking forward to the rest of these with a head of steam?
Yeah, I think it'll definitely make people, I guess, worried a little more. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to make people more nervous now when I show up because I'm actually doing good.
Well, certainly good. I think it's an understatement, especially how you did here tonight. Lane, from the victory circle here, before we let you go, is there any sponsors, any teams, or really anyone you just like to give your shout-outs and love to for your win here tonight from Volusia?
I'd like to thank just JJ, everyone, for putting on this league. It's a blast. You guys for broadcasting and just everyone for helping out.
Lane Stevens, your winner here tonight from Volusia. We appreciate the time, Lane, and of course, congratulations on your win. We look forward to seeing what you can do for the rest of the season now that you'll be joining us. And that was Lane Stevens, your winner here tonight in the second night. Double points, going to be a lot to rack up for the number 33 to try and get up into the point standings. We'll look over to second, where this pass for second was enough to get in for Caleb Nickel. He is sitting trackside with KBRN's own Francisco Bacaya.
Caleb Nickel, this is Francisco in the KBRN booth. You got me?
Sir.
It was a last lap pass for that second spot, and it was a podium finish for yourself. Take us through the night for yourself and how that was a good run for you.
Well, I mean, the night started off. I mean, I started second, and then I made a couple of mistakes early on, dropped back to about 5th or 6th, and I was just praying and hoping that something happened, and surely enough, on that final lap, my teammate, Cam, I'm on the bottom, and he's just checking me up, and I thought the guy that was battling with me, I thought he was long gone, and so I somehow found a way to get around Cam and just made it stick on that bottom. I don't know how I made it stick, but man, it was quick down there.
Yeah, early on in this race in the first half, there was a lot of cautions. How was it tough to be able to stay focused on trying to run the race car when there's yellow every other lap?
Oh yeah, I mean it kept breaking me out of my rhythm and out of my groove because with the way the track was, how slick it was. If I wasn't in my groove, I was slow, and on those restarts, it really killed me.
Well, lastly, before we let you go here, you had a strong P2 effort. Who do you want to thank? Any sponsors, teams, anybody at all?
I want to thank my dad and with this company Extreme Sounds for letting me put the name on the car, and I want to thank Jacob Dove for adding me to his team for this season, and hoping we get some more podium finishes throughout the season.
Thank you for taking the time to join with us, and we wish you luck moving forward. Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you.
That was second place, Caleb Nickel. That final move on the last lap was enough to get by the third place driver at the line, and that third place driver finishing the Hard Charger Award winner from last race in night number 1 finishes third on the podium tonight. He is trackside with Keelan Belsha.
Hey Josh, it's Keelan up in the KBRN booth. You got us?
Yeah, Keelan, I got you.
All right. Well, you rolled off in 11th after a heat race not win. You got third, right? Third in the heat race.
Yeah.
11th, drove yourself up to third by the end of it. How hard was it to stay patient with all these yellows? I know you made some contact with some guys. Was it hard to stay patient during this feature and just keep running your race?
I don't know. It was definitely a bit of a wreck fest in the start, but we got through it. Had a really nice green flag run at the end there. I was kind of just trying to keep my nose clean. I know the one that I was involved in, I was trying to keep it off whoever was on my outside. I got loose and then spun sort of down the track into somebody else and bounced off of them, and big pileup happened. I was lucky enough to stay out of it and then avoid the final wreck we had, which put me up to third. And then Cole wrecked in front of me, which I don't really know how that happened, but we got through it and somehow got to second. I was like, all right, we're good, P2, it's fine. And then the last corner happened, and I don't know how he pulled that move off, and yeah, props to Caleb right at the end there. He pulled off an amazing move on the final corner to get me, but I'm really happy with third place, especially starting from 11th.
Yeah, you certainly drove yourself through the field, but speaking about that last lap, what's going through your head when you see Nickel coming here? He's sliding down the bottom, making that move on you. What was going through your head?
Well, initially I saw the 12. I saw the 12 on the bottom, and I was thinking, oh, all right, I'll just go to the top, and we'll be fine. And I see Nickel get held up, and I'm like, all right, we're perfect. I'll just run the top on the final corner, and I'll hold it, and nothing will happen. If he goes to the bottom, it shouldn't work, so I'll be good. And I was thinking I was fine, and then coming off before, I just see him slide up like 3 car lengths ahead of me. I'm like, how the hell did he pull that off? And I went over the mic. I was like, what the hell? Congrats, good move. And we were talking after the race in the waiting room, and he was like, yeah, I had no idea how I pulled it off. But yeah, no, it was still really fun. And I don't know, gave me a beaming smile because it's just fun to have that thing.
Yes, sir. Well, you ran a great race tonight. You got any sponsors you want to thank for making the night happen?
Well, I got to thank everyone at Kingslayer Autosport. It was, good to see one of our cars on the podium tonight. The other one got the Hard Charger. So, I don't know, always good to have that happen. Everyone on that car, JP Designs, Belfort Property Restoration, Wiltshire Racing Engines, EVC Automotive, and the Keystone Corner for making it happen tonight. I got to thank you guys for broadcasting, JJ for running the whole league, and got to give everyone on track a shout out for giving me a good run at the end there.
Yeah, well, congrats on a great run tonight, Josh. Especially fighting from the back. That's awesome, dude. Good run.
Thanks, Keelan.
You have a good night.
That's Josh Patterson, your podium place finisher in third tonight from Volusia. We're going to get to our final driver and the winner of the Dirtman Photography Hard Charger Award. That was the number 5 of Brayson Collins, and obviously just spoke to his teammates. So good news for them that they both got some sort of praise out of their performance here tonight. Brayson, this was a move all the way to the front. 11 spots. You started all the way at the tail end of this feature in 16th. You catch up to 5th. First of all, just give us your experience of walking through this entire field and getting up to this 5th place spot, but also compiled with all the yellows we had tonight.
Well, to start off, man, I got back to qualifying. I was eating dinner. I ran back upstairs, and I saw I had about like a minute left of qualifier and something like that. And I got back on track. It was like 30 seconds. So I went out and ran a lap without any audio. I didn't have my headset on or anything, so I had a bad lap. And then in the heat, Sammy Yaya, I think it was, came down on Josh, and I got caught up in that mess, and I just couldn't quite recover from that. So I had to drive through the LCQ, and I sent it 3 wide. I wasn't really going to take any prisoners right there. I knew I was faster than most of those guys in that LCQ, so I sent it 3, cleared them all, and I was able to put it in 4th. Vincent and I battled a little bit. We made a little contact. He apologized for it, and everything's fine there. But and then I just started 16th. I was like, well, I'm in the race. Might as well send it. So throughout all the wrecks and stuff, every time I saw a wreck, until that caution came out, I knew I had to try to put the pedal down and get by everybody that was stopped on track, slowed up, and I used it to my benefit to gain all those positions. And then at the end there, that last caution, I was in a Discord call with my Kingslayer teammate Josh Patterson, and Josh was like, "Dude, I'm 3rd," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm 5th." And then Cole wrecked. I think it was Cole who wrecked. I think he alt forward, and so that put me 4th. And then my shoulder I've been racing nonstop since 6:30, so my shoulder got tired, and Vincent was able to get by me, but still a pretty good run.
Yeah, definitely a prosperous run all the way from back in 16th. And you referred to those yellows that we had throughout the night. We had a lot compared to what we saw in the first night of competition on Tuesday. Just give us your kind of thoughts about how that was for your rhythm. I know we talked to Caleb Nickel a little bit earlier in the interview. He mentioned how those cautions are kind of ruining the groove, ruining the rhythm. Was that the same case over for you, especially when you had kind of a taller task of going through this field tonight?
I would say, for sure, but at the same time, I'm a little bit different driver. A big thing with dirt racing is momentum. You carry momentum, you get your rhythm, you hit your line, you're going, and especially in a sprint car, which is full throttle, it's basically point and steer. You got to get in that rhythm of where you're going to hit your marks, where you're going to steer into the corner, what line you're going to run. So all those cautions, I was getting thrown off towards the end because track was slicking up and I didn't have that rhythm on the slick. But I felt like if we had a caution towards the end there, I probably would have been able to beat Vincent. I might have even been able to catch the 29 and maybe Patterson, because I felt like I was a little bit better on restarts. I was able to get going a little bit better, and I was better on a short run. But I do agree, the amount of cautions we have is, it's not like any of the admin's fault, of course. It's sprint cars, open wheels. You can't make contact in these things. And this is iRacing. It's not like we professionally know what we're doing with these open wheel cars. So I do agree, though, that the cautions do kind of play a role in hurting our rhythm a little bit. Kind of hurts you when you're trying to get yourself going. But that last run was really fun without the cautions, because everyone was kind of in their rhythm, and especially Lane, that guy pulled away from everybody. So
well, Brayson is certainly the top 5 for your number 5 machine, and of course you're the Kingslayer Autosport with a very potent performance here tonight from Volusia in the second night of the Florida Nationals. Before we let you go, Brayson, is there anyone you'd just like to thank, team sponsors, or really anyone else who'd just like to give the shout outs and love to for your performance here tonight? What made it possible for you?
Yeah, I got to start off with my main sponsor, the Keystone Corner on YouTube. That guy, he's been a big supporter of me. He's sponsored me for over a year, actually. I help him do some PR work for his personal business, and I've tried to help him out with his YouTube channel, so go subscribe to him on YouTube, Keystone Corner, as well as another YouTuber, Mr. Ocean CM382. He's been a good friend of mine for years, and he's also been helping me out, sponsoring my league and stuff. I've got to thank Kingslayer Autosport and my teammate, Josh Patterson. Josh is a real big help whenever I ask, hey, what line you run in? What's going on there? Where are these people running? Josh is able to help me out with that. I got to thank Belfour Property Restoration, Vulture Engines. Gosh, I got all the sponsors. Bring Me the Horizon. Man, I don't even know all the sponsors on our car. Josh put most of them on. So, but yeah, I got to thank those guys, and I think that's it.
Well, Rachel, we certainly thank you for joining us, and of course, congratulations on your P5 effort here tonight. We look forward to seeing what you can do for the rest of the season, and of course, thank you for joining us here for this conversation.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That's Brayson Collins, your Dirtman Photography Hard Charger Award winner in P5, and that'll be your final interview, and the final interview for tonight's coverage from Volusia Speedway Park. Guys, I'm going to turn it over back to you as we go up back to the commentary box right here at this short dirt track, and I think a very opposite night for double points of what we saw in night number 1, especially Francisco. You can attest to that from what we saw. But in terms of this second night, Lane Stevens winning, capturing double points, what kind of set of stone does this set, or what kind of path does this create for that number 33, and especially what kind of story does it start for that number 33 to try to get into this championship as we continue to move forward and as we stay in Florida next week? Francisco, you got us?
Yeah.
Well, I was just about asking just about Lane Stevens' performances and how his performance in double points tonight can kind of set a stone, kind of set a path for him going into the rest of the season, especially as we go to Florida over next week at USA.
Yeah, if there was any chance that Lane Stevens was going to do what he did was tonight because of the double points. It's really going to sort of give him a kickstart into the amount of points that he's going to earn, having won that first heat and winning the race tonight from pole position. So it's going to really help him. It's going to give him momentum going into, I believe we're actually going to be at USA on Sunday night. So that's going to be one to look out for here on the KBRN Network. So we'll try to bring that to you. But yeah, Lane Stevens with the win here tonight is definitely going to aid him going forward. And I can't wait to see, will Caleb Morrissey be there? We won't know until that day comes. And Cody Meadows will try to rebound from a tough race here tonight, the points leader. A lot of stories going into that race. Can Cole Williams overcome the bad luck finally? And can Aiden Kirker do the same as Cole Williams, as they both have been stricken with bad luck? So a lot of storylines going into that race for the top contenders. And of course, there's always the other drivers that are making noise, trying to gain as many spots as they can, that are always fun to talk about.
Yeah, certainly always fun to talk about. Going to be a lot of drivers going to be racing into the Florida Nationals night number 3. Keelan, it was your first time in the booth with us in a long time. I think the only time I can really recall was one of the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series races. But you kind of find your way back here, and obviously it was a lot of fun covering with you. Give us your thoughts about our run here at the Florida Nationals tonight and what you kind of expect to see as we go over to night 3 on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to be up here. Thank you guys so much for that. But about tonight, Lane Stevens, man, he was a story tonight. Not showing or missing a feature for every other race before tonight. Then he comes in here tonight, smokes him in qualifying, comes out here, leads every single lap of every race he runs throughout the night, dominates, goes on to win. If this is any story of the any momentum setter, what he's trying to show this field tonight, if this is what he's going to do the rest of the season, this series is better be on watch for that kid all season long. If he can fight from this 50-point deficit and come back and be a championship contender, it had to start tonight. You talk about the double points tonight. I feel like he thrives under pressure. He came out here tonight under pressure, under adversity, missing every single race he tried to participate in. Comes out here tonight, just dominates everybody. It was an insane run-in for him, and heading into night 3, if he shows up that night, I feel like he's the man to beat. So it's awesome for Lane. So happy for him to finally get in victory lane, and after the season he's had so far, that's awesome for him. He was a story tonight, and I hope he can continue the momentum.
We're going to keep your eyes peeled for what Lane Stevens can do from here on out as he wins in the second night of the Michigan Diecast Florida Nationals from the virtual Volusia Speedway Park. If you're looking for the rest of the schedule, what we're going to see next time here in the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series, we're going to move over onto Sunday night, where the Florida Nationals continue night number 3 this time, but not from Volusia. It'll be from the USA International Speedway on the dirt side. That'll be coverage on a Sunday night at about 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern, depending on which the schedule the admins consider. At least some have been 8:45, some have been around 9 o'clock. Nonetheless, that race will continue, and that'll be that final night for the Florida Nationals. And if you're wondering what's going to be next on the KBueno Racing Network, well, we have coverage on Sunday with the Sunday Night NASCAR Racing League and the DBR Cup Series. That'll be from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Coverage will start at about 8:25 p.m. Eastern right here on the KBueno Racing Network. You can expect to see Francisco and myself on the call for that, and we're going to be having a lot of fun over there as they continue to run through their round of 12. And then finally, over on Monday night, we will have coverage of the iRacing Bungeon Lawn Care Series, their race 7, as they continue their season from the biggest, baddest track of them all, the Talladega Super Speedway. We'll have coverage of that, and that'll be definitely a wild race for sure to continue in that season on that front. And of course, we'll be working back over to Tuesday night as the A&B Outdoors QuickTime Sprint Car Series will find their way over into Lernerville in the Pennsylvania Nationals 25-lap feature. That'll be January 5th over in 2021. Actually, no. It'll be at Williams Grove. It'll be the Pennsylvania Nationals December 28th, 2020. We'll have a 30-lap feature for that race. But for all of us here, and we'll wrap things up here from the Volusia Speedway Park, for everyone that makes these things possible, for JJ Hill for running this league, each and every way throughout and for making these possible every single week. And for all of us at the KBueno Racing Network, we thank you for watching. And of all of us that work here from the KBueno Racing Network, for Charlie Baier, who's not here tonight, and of course for my colleagues in the booth, Keelan Belsha and Francisco Bacallao, Kenneth Bueno saying good night from Volusia. We'll stay in Florida just a little bit further out at USA.